Here's everything you need to know on what to farm for BRANT, starting with his material Ascension, Echoes, and his best team and weapon. So without wasting any more time, let's get into it. Let's start off with BRANT's combat role. Firstly, he's a 5-star fusion sword user, and his main role is to be a support and sub DPS, as he also can deal higher basic attack damage. Not only that, swapping him out will amplify the next resonator fusion and resonance skill damage, which will affect his team synergy later in the video. BRANT will deal up to 4 consecutive attack, dealing fusion damage of his normal attack. After performing basic attack stage 2 or 5 and mid-air attack stage 5, holding the normal attack will perform heavy attack Rhapsodic Riff. But here's the fun part begin, where most of his animation and kits work is during his mid-air attack. Mid-air attack can perform up to 4 consecutive attack, pressing normal attack following the mid-air attack stage 1 or 2 to swing to the target with a grapple. If BRANT swing close enough to the target, he will start to strike the enemies. Release while in action to flip backward after the attack strikes, or hold normal attack to attack the target constantly and flip backward after the finishing move. BRANT immediately flips backward after the third mid-air attack stage. Press normal attack after each flip to go to the following phase of the mid-air attack. There's two also different scenario happen if the grapple swing reach enemies or not. As the failed one, he will instead perform a slash attack, but for the one that reached the target but the attack fails, he will fall after a brief suspension in mid-air. BRANT's resonance skill will launch himself into the air and blast all the targets. When in mid-air, if his forte bar Bravo is not full, resonance skill's Anchors Awake is replaced with the plunge attack. This plunge attack also works the same like his mid-air attack on his normal attack kit, where if BRANT fails to reach a target with the grapple swing of mid-air attack stage 1, he instead perform a slash forward, and if BRANT reach a target with a grapple swing of mid-air attack at stage 1 or 2, but the attack fails to hit the target, pressing normal attack to perform plunge attack during the suspension. BRANT's Resonance Liberation will deal fusion damage to the enemies within the range and enter a flame stat where he will heal teammates. While in a flame stat, when normal attacks or resonance skills Anchor Awake hits the target, Bravo increased by 100%. At the same time, 40-second Theatrical Moment is replaced with My Moment. With the My Moment is up, BRANT will gain additional 20 points of attack up to 2600 for every 1% of his energy regen over 150%. Also, one thing to mention is his healing was based on his energy regen as well. For BRANT 40-second, just like his liberation, the Theatrical Moment also give BRANT additional attack but a bit lower, only up to 1560 points. When his 40 bar reach 25, 50, 75 and 100, he will heal his teams. Resonance skills Anchor Awake will be replaced to return from ashes when Bravo, BRANT's forte bar, is full. The damage from this skill is considered as basic attack damage and will regenerate shield, which also based on his energy regen. But casting this skill will end a flame stat instantly. BRANT can hold up to 100 Bravo and can be obtained by doing normal attack, intro skill and resonance skill. For the other two of BRANT's inherent skill, Voyager's Blaze will increase healing from waves of acclaims by 20%, and for Trial by Fire and Tide, BRANT's resistance to interruption is increased during mid-air attacks and fusion damage bonus is increased by 15%. Finally, BRANT's outro skill, the course is set. Once perform outro skill, he will amplify the incoming resonator's fusion damage by 20% and resonance skill damage by 25% for 14 seconds. Now let's talk about BRANT's resonance change. Which one to prefer or decide? Is he worth at C0 and can he just stay like that? For free-to-play players, this section might not be your main focus, but can consider listening in case you might want to go further with your pooling session. Let's start off with his C1. His resonance skill Return from Ashes will temporarily reduce the movement speed of the nearby enemies. After performing intro skill or flipping after mid-air attack, BRANT's damage will be increased by 20% 30% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. For C2, mid-air attack and return from ashes will have their crit rate increased by 30%, and BRANT Ultra skill will gain another buff. Within 20 seconds after BRANT Ultra skill triggered, the upcoming resonator that casts resonance skill will cause an explosion, considered as basic attack damage. Limit to 1 explosion every second with a maximum of 2. C3 will increase the damage multiplier of return from ashes by 42%, while C5 dealing basic attack will increase BRANT's basic attack damage by 15% for 10 seconds, which is kind of crazy. For C4, return from ashes shield will be increased by 20%, and casting this skill will heal your team as well. Last but not least, BRANT C6. Mid-air attack multiplier will be increased by 30%, and now BRANT can do the explosion by casting return from ashes, which is still considered as basic attack damage, and the damage will be equal to 30% of the original skill damage. And now for the weapon section. So for BRANT, his best in slot weapon is of course the 5-star version called the Unflickering Valor. Increased crit rate by 8%, and casting Resonance Liberation give 24% basic attack damage bonus for 10 seconds, and dealing basic attack damage give 24 basic attack damage bonus for 4 seconds. Since this is still in beta, the passive could be changed in the future patch. You can also slap him with the standard 5-star sword Emerald of Genesis. Since BRANT also needs some of the energy regen, this weapon is a great choice where the passive also give out energy regen by 12.8%. When resonance skill is cast, increase attack by 6% and stacking up to 2 times, and this effect will last for 10 seconds. Other than the 5-star version, you can put the free sword from the last event Somnier Encore with BRANT. Gain 1 stack of his when dealing damage to the enemies, with 1 stack generated every 1 second. Each stack of his increase the wielder's attack by 2% for 3 seconds, stacking up to 10 times. Switching off the wielder clears all the stack, and gaining 10 stacks increase the wielder's crit rate by 6%. You can also let BRANT use the Overture weapon, where this playstyle you're going to focus on him providing buff to your DPS and the quick swap team. Next up, Echo Suggestion. In version 2.0, Kuro already introduced this one Sonata effect, which you can say specifically built for BRANT, and that set called the Tide Breaking Courage. Wearing 2 pieces will gives out 10% energy regen, while 5 pieces will increase the wearer attack by 15%, and reaching 250% energy regen increase all attribute damage by 30%. This set is perfect for BRANT since he also need ton of energy regen for your kids to work wonderfully, and by using this set will affect your cost 3 composition, where you only need 1 fusion cost 3, and the other one you can put the energy regen on in case you doesn't have that good amount of energy regen ready for him. There's also Moonlit Cloud set if you want to fully focus on BRANT as your support for your DPS. When wearing 2 pieces, we also give him 10% energy regen, and wearing 5 pieces will increase the next resonator attack by 22.5% when casting Ultra skill. To add more buff for your team, put the Impermanence Heron on BRANT main slot, and it will help boost next resonator damage by 12%. Molten Rift is also another good option to go for in case you didn't farm for Tide Breaking Courage yet, as wearing 5 pieces will grant 30% fusion damage upon casting Resonance skill. For cost option, I would go for the normal version since it will buff BRANT's basic attack, but you can also go for the Nightmare version where it will buff your Resonance skill. Cost 1 for the 3 of this set, you're going to put attack percent on both slots. For substats, it is recommended to get both crit value and most importantly energy regen as your third choice whenever you try to tune some of the echoes in the future. And now comes to the team synergy for BRANT. If you want to fully focus on his outro skill alone, where he will buff fusion damage and resonance skill damage, then going for any fusion DPS like Chang-Li, Enko, and Chixia is already a good thing to go. But for me, the one that really going to greatly benefit all of this buff will be Chang-Li, since she also deals quite a lot of damage with her resonance skill. As for the third slot, you can put any support character like Varina, Vaiji, and Showkeeper. Other than that, if you want to make BRANT as your main damage dealer, you can put either Sanhua or Roxia, as these two will amplify the next resonator basic attack damage. BRANT also considered can deal quite a lot of damage with his basic attack, so that's another option if you want to try it later. Finally, Brant's material Ascension. Brant will need 46 of the Blazing Bone, which can be farmed by defeating Dragon of Dirge at Penitent End near the Figurehead's Shrine. He also need 4 green Tidal Residuum, 12 blue Tidal Residuum, 12 purple Tidal Residuum, and lastly 4 of the gold Tidal Residuum. For the regional flowers, he will need 60 golden fleece that can be farmed in the new area Rinascita. Finally, the total number of shell credits you need to fully ascend him is 170,000 shell credits. Also, for the total number of shell credits to fully level him up to level 90 is 1.2 million credits. For skill level up, firstly you need a lot of these metallic drip things. 25 of the green metallic drip, 28 of blue metallic drip, 55 of purple metallic drip, and lastly 67 gold metallic drip. For the core, he will use the same one, the Tidal Residuum. He will need 25 green Tidal Residuum, 28 blue Tidal Residuum, 40 of purple Tidal Residuum, and 57 gold Tidal Residuum. Weekly boss drop you need for his skill is the Netherworld Stair that can be farmed from Hecate at the Raguna City on Rinascita. Finally, the total amount of shell credits you need to fully level up all the skill is a whopping of 2.3 million shell credits. As always, most of the key information I share with you might get changed whenever the official release comes out, so please keep an eye on the comment section as I'll try to post there if some of the things have been changed. As always, I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.